Hey everyone, how are you? This is Faith. Hope everybody's doing well. I wanted to just do this quick series on what we're calling Brand Therapy Thursday. So this is just sort of the beginning stage of that. But what I wanted to do on this session is to talk about what the definition of personal branding is, because I get a lot of questions sometimes. People wonder if it's the same as advertising, marketing, etc. So I think everybody's clear now that it's not the same. It's quite different. But I felt I needed to break it down to its piece parts, even more sort of granular, if you will. So in the basic sense, hey Jill, how are you? Thanks for joining. In the basic sense, personal branding is what people say about you when you're not in the room. Like we hear that quote. It's been attributed to Jeff Bezos, CEO of Amazon, and lots of people use it, but it's a good handle to give you just a very quick understanding of what that means. So imagine you're not in the room and there are a bunch of people talking and you are the topic of conversation, and you walk in and that conversation changes or it shifts, and it's not materializing exactly what the true content was because now you've entered the room. You want to make sure that you understand that the perception is the reality. So the proper, if you will, the technical definition of personal branding is the collection of experiences with you in the mind of your clients, the consumer, your people, your prospects, fill it in. So I'll say that again. It's the collection of experiences with you in the minds of the consumer. So let's just break that apart. The collection. What's a collection? Hey, Danny, thanks for joining. What's a collection? If you think about, fashion, let's just even use that as an example, right? A collection means that there are going to be pieces from evening wear, there are going to be pieces from swimwear, there are going to be pieces from sort of casual wear. You understand that when you hear about a collection, that it's going to be a variety of things, not just one type of garment. If you go to a fashion show, you understand you're going to see multiple things, but they all sort of hang together to give you one cohesive view of what this designer's point of view is about. Hey, Raj, shout out from London. What's good? Hey, Kai. So think about that. So it's a collection of experiences with you. So how does somebody get a collection of experiences with you? They have to encounter you in several different ways. They have to encounter you in multiple different ways. They encounter you in different touch points. So if you think about, let's say you showed up to a networking event and you were one way with this one particular person, then this person saw you again at a board meeting and you were another way with that person, and that person saw you again, let's just even say on a Facebook Live, and then they saw you again at a conference. So those touch points, those experiences that they've had with you, that starts to form the collection. So either the collection in aggregate, when you average it out, it's either good or bad. There's no neutral. Let me just say that again. Every encounter, every experience somebody has with you, it's either good or bad. It's never really neutral. And so if I've met this person at 3 different occasions, and the collection in my mind, my estimation, the aggregation of those experiences is such that I think, yep, that's a good person, then in my mind, that person is a good person. That just becomes a perception, is a reality. But let's just say I encountered, hey Doris, let's just say I encountered somebody at a board meeting and they, the vote didn't go their way. So they weren't necessarily having a really great day. So they were a little bit more short, maybe a little bit more abrupt. And I ask a question and they answer me pretty short. So that's already one experience that I've had that's starting to form my perception of that person. Then I meet them at a museum event, at a fundraising event. And they're, as my mom liked to say, sometimes you can let your hair down, but not all the way down. They're just toe up from the flow up. Just having way too much fun, just enjoying the wine way, way too much. That's another experience that I've just had with that person. So I've just met this person. They were short and they don't know how to hold their liquor. Do you see how just those 2 experiences, now I've formed an opinion. Guys, I want to tell you this. It's not fair, but it's just a reality. Right? It's not fair. It's just a reality. The perception that people have of you start to form their perception of your brand. So very important to understand that how you show up, how you are, how you're being, how you treat people in the smallest, sort of most, minute way up to all the way to the most grandiose experience. Everything about you speaks. I like to say that's a tweetable quote, or, a hashtag. Everything about you speaks. So every single thing that you do, that you say, that you tweet, that you comment, that you respond to, that you create, that you send, all starts to add to the collection of people's perception of you in their mind. So if the aggregate of your experiences, it's, good as they estimated, that you've been pleasant, that you're kind, that you go out of your way, that you're a giver, that you stay later than anybody else at work, whatever it might be, that's what starts to form the collection of your personal brand experience. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody was clear on that it's not just what you put on your website. It is not just what you put on your social media. It is not just that, because if that were the case, we could all just, put on like a really great, creative campaign and everybody would have wonderful businesses, but that's not the case, because you can bring somebody in through your website, or you might bring them in through an ad, but what is that experience when they actually physically come in contact with you? This is where the rubber meets the road, as we like to say. When they physically encounter you, the real you, right? Not the digital you, not the one that, we talked about yesterday, like these pomp and circumstance. We have all these amazing, wonderful, fabulous images, and you seem like you're this really wonderful person, but then when they encounter you, that reality, that experience is so much more. It's so fraudulent that it hurts to the core. What do you think is going to happen to your brand reputation at that point? So one of the things you want to make sure is that how you're showing up, it's authentic. You can only fake it until you make it for a certain amount of time. At some point, people start to suss out. At some point, people start to ferret out. At some point, they begin to sniff out the fake, the frauds that are out in the marketplace. You don't want to be one of those. You really want to show up authentically. You want to treat people with respect. You want to be grounded in what makes you human, and treat people as good humans as well. And that's what's going to really build your experience. I was talking to one of my coaches today, and she was like, outcare the competition. That's, why my business has grown so amazingly over the past year, is that I give, and I know my clients can tell you this, I give more than is even required. And that's just not even saying enough. I lean so deeply in. Yesterday, as an example, I was working with one of my clients, and she had some tech things going on with her product launch. And she said to me, she's like, did you ever think when you decided to become, a brand strategist that you'd be doing this? And I said to her, I said, you know what? If it matters to you, it matters to me. So there's nothing above, there's nothing beneath me. If it matters to you, it matters to me. That's how I treat my clients. That's why they love on me so desperately. That's why I get such good feedback from people. And it's not that I put it, this is just, I have no other way to be. My name is Faith for a reason. I am a child of Abraham, I'm a child of King. There's no other way for me to be. And so I just want to share that with you, that going out and just putting out, sort of like a persona, if you will, of who you think people want you to be, it alone is not going to do it. You have to treat them well, because the collection of the experiences they have with you is what's going to form the perception of your brand. So when you wonder why nobody's coming to your workshop, or nobody's coming to your events, or nobody's signing up for your, your products or your launches, whatever it might be, it's because that perception that they have of you, which they hold very secret and near and dear to their heart. I can tell you thousands of stories of people who have just come to me and shared what their experience was with someone, and why they won't do business with that person. That person has no idea. They've got absolutely no idea. Hey, Jody, shout out to you. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, Amelia. They have no idea why they haven't gotten the business. That's the most deadly thing for me. Hey, New. That's the most deadly thing for me, is that when you are out there doing work and you don't know why you're not growing, you don't understand what people say. Your brand reputation is massive. If you don't protect that with everything that is near and dear to you, secretly people will just say, nope, don't go to his shop, don't go to that person's spa, don't go to that person's, hair play. People just, it's a whisper, it's a deadly quiet whisper. So one of the things that I do when I work with my clients is that we go through a full 360 understanding of where their brand is in the marketplace. And you know how we do that? Because we ask the people, and we do it anonymously. So let's just say you were coaching with me and you wanted to find out what your reputation was in the marketplace. we send out unlimited numbers of emails to your people. Your circle of influence is what we call them. People who were your clients, former clients, whether they had a good or negative relationship, doesn't matter. We want to know because you can't fix what you don't address. And so we get that feedback and you see clearly where you have work to do and where things are going well. But if you don't know and you're just guessing and you're spending all this money in the marketplace advertising and putting on shows and putting on events and nobody's coming because they're not going to tell you, the human condition is such that we typically avoid conflict. So we'd rather just not show up. We'd just rather not respond to your email. We'd just rather not pay for your program, because rather than tell you to your face, no, the reason I'm not going to do it is because X, Y, and Z. We just don't show up. And you know what happens? Good news is, you've heard this before, travel is faster than bad. So they go tell 5 and tell 10 of their friends. And then they're like, oh, yeah, don't do business with that person because X, Y, and Z. So important. So brand therapy, I want it to be, kind of taking into some of the challenges that I'm experiencing with, with clients where they're telling me this is what they're doing. And I want to bring this to you so you can sort of learn from it and see what you should be doing. So if you're feeling like, okay, last year my needle didn't move that much and I'm not really sure, I think my product's really good, I think my service is really good, you might want to look internally. You might want to consider getting a 360 assessment done of your brand so you can see. And again, the reason it works so beautifully is that it's anonymous. So as your coach, I won't know who said what, you won't know who said what, the data just comes in. I had one client who had done this. She's works for a multi-million-dollar corporation here in South Florida. And, one of the things that came back was, the way she dressed. Now she was going for, C-level suite position in the company. But so can you imagine that that's something that's holding her back, that people perceive her to be such that even though she might be well-liked and likable, that just the way that she dresses doesn't, sort of put her in that light to be considered for this role. Big, huge eye-opener. So if that resonates with you, I'm going to invite you to send me an email at faith@faithjames.com. If you really want to get a little bit closer to moving your brand in the right direction this year, let's get on a call. We'll do a strategy session. It'll be an hour. It's free. At the very end of it, you'll get some amazing strategies for your business, whether we work together or not, because it is going to be by an application process only. But at the very least, you will get an hour of my time, and that's what I want to do. I want to be in this posture of giving this year more so than I did last year. I want to set people a sail. I want to set people afloat in a way that is going to be so meaningful. So reach out to me if this resonates with you. It's faith@faithjames.com. You can go to my website at faithjames.com as well. And just let's get connected. If you're watching this on Instagram, you can DM me. If you're watching this on YouTube, just send me a message, wherever. Let's get some momentum going for your brand this year. But I really wanted to come on and talk about this particular thing because nothing else that you do will matter if people have a bad perception of your brand and you don't know it. Nothing else will matter. So with that, I love you all so much, sending you lots of joy and light, and I will talk to you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.